Money FM 89.3, best of breakfast. Mind your business, only on Money FM 89.3.
Thanks for joining us on Money FM 89.3. It's Mind Your Business with me, Audrey Seek, and Ahmad Akhtar. Now, Ahmad, you know what's always felt like a bit of a chore? Signing up for insurance.
Indeed.
You know, all those forms, the fine print, and the endless jargon that can leave you, at least me, more confused than I was to begin with. But think about this. Remember the last time you bought a new phone and right at the checkout, you were offered insurance for it. So no forms, no agent, no fuss. One click and done. So that's what Insurtech is all about. It's insurance made simple, seamless, and often so well-timed you don't even realize you're opting in.
That's right. And at the forefront of this transformation is bolttech. It's a global insurtech with a mission to build the world's leading tech-enabled insurance ecosystem. It has operations spanning over 30 markets and a growing portfolio of digital and embedded insurance solutions. bolttech is not just keeping up with change, it's helping define the future of insurance.
Yeah, and today we're lucky to have the person right at the helm of it all joining us on the show. Please welcome Rob Schimek, founder and Group Chief Executive Officer at bolttech. Good morning, Rob. Great to have you here in the studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Audrey. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on, Rob. The first thing I've noticed is you are wearing 2 timepieces. What is going on here?
I do. I am an admitted fitness junkie, so I want to track my health at all times.
Yes.
But I still do want to wear a traditional watch.
Okay, are they both well insured?
Yes, actually they are.
Okay, to start off, for the uninitiated, can you help us understand what Insurtech is all about and the role it plays in the insurance landscape?
Yeah, I love the way that you described it earlier. It is exactly at the intersection of technology and insurance. The reason I began this business is because I spent a long time in traditional insurance, and I was used to dealing with companies that had very little technology because they've been around for a long time. They weren't born in a technology-driven environment. For us, very much what it is that we're focused on trying to do is close a global protection gap. And in its simplest form, protection gap is the difference between people who need protection and who actually have that protection.
Right.
And the size of that gap globally is measured in trillions of U.S. dollars.
Incredible.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of conversation about whether insurtech companies are competing with traditional insurers or whether there's room for both to work together. So what's your take on that? Is this a rivalry or a partnership kind of opportunity?
I love that question. First of all, bolttech really wants to position itself as an enabler. We're not here to disrupt the insurance industry. We're here to enable the players who are in it to do it better, faster, smarter, more effectively, and with a solution that's better for the customers than they've ever seen before. The best way to think about whether we're viewed as a competitor in that space is our investors have become more and more traditional players who are strategically looking to make sure that they can keep their fingers in this fast emerging technology-driven space, Insurtech. So we just closed a Series C fundraising round, and one of our investors in that fundraising round was Generali, the 100-plus-year-old insurer out of Europe. That's an example.
Yeah, that's going to make your clients pretty happy. And speaking of which, I want to know who you serve, if you could help name drop a few clients of yours, and what kind of problems they come to you with. What do they want insured the most these days?
So we are headquartered here in Singapore.
Yep.
I'm super proud of that. But we operate, as you said, in over 30 countries around the world, 4 continents, North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Here in Southeast Asia, you can see us working, for example, in Singapore, we do work with Singtel. In the Philippines with Globe. In Thailand with AIS, one of the largest telcos in Thailand. In Hong Kong with Hong Kong Telecom and with 3. And so we love working in particular with the telcos. But we're not exclusively tied to the telcos. Sometimes these transactions where you can do insurance relate maybe to the place where you've bought the product, which might be the retailer. Or maybe it's your automobile and we work with the auto dealer or the auto manufacturer. So we love, generally speaking, the manufacturers of the device itself, Apple, Samsung as examples.
Yeah.
And we love the places where you buy these products so that we can make it a super seamless experience. At the moment you buy it, you get the protection, and you're looking for protection that is more efficient, more seamless experience. You said earlier, and I want to fill out forms. Yeah, I want it to be super simple. Click
Right.
3 times, it's done.
Yeah, so you dropped a lot of big names there, and now Singapore seems to be a bit of a sweet spot for Insurtech. We've got high insurance penetration rates and a thriving fintech scene, right? But even in this environment, Rob, what are some of the biggest challenges that Insurtech companies like bolttech still face in getting companies to get on board to adopt your tech?
One of the biggest challenges is the DIY mindset that exists in many companies that are already in the space. So, for example, a traditional insurer might have been operating in this marketplace for decades, and they're successful. Maybe not as successful as they could be. Maybe really don't have customer satisfaction the way that we might want to see it. But judged by the size, by their ability to grow, and judged by their ability to generate a success by whatever metrics they use, they consider themselves to be successful. So breaking into the inertia of the do-it-yourself mentality and changing the way people think about the future versus the past, that's the single biggest challenge that we face.
Yeah, people are set in their ways, right?
They are.
Old habits die hard. Curious to know, you're a B2B2C, in your words, platform. How do you guys make money? Because you're also a licensed broker. How do you price your insurance?
Yeah. So the very first thing is we, generally speaking, are really creating the connection between the end insurer and the distribution partner who actually has customers. So here in Singapore, if let's say I was talking about Singtel, you would say Singtel has customers. So my business partner would be Singtel.
Right.
That's who I want to make sure we can delight their customers. We're focused on our relationship with that distribution partner, and we're connecting them to providers who might provide protection products that they have real expertise and specialization with. So for us, our business model can be that we make money by being a distribution platform where we get a SaaS fee. You pay us a fee for the use of our technology. It's a homegrown proprietary technology, but when it operates on 4 continents and in more than 30 countries, it's got real capability. We're also a licensed broker in almost every jurisdiction that we operate in around the world. That means that we are a licensed intermediary, so we can get paid a insurance commission from the distribution partner or from the insurance carrier who's ultimately looking to sell the insurance product. So we can be a commission or we can be a platform fee. The important thing for us is we're a very much a modular solution, which means if you need back office support, you need claims support, you need call center, you need technology, you need an insurance license, we can provide any, all, or just a part of those things. You decide what you want to use or not use.
Okay, well, Rob, I have to ask you about the tariffs. We've all been riding this tariff roller coaster the past couple of weeks. How is bolttech dealing with all of this, and will you guys be affected by it?
Well, we're much like the rest of the world, which is watching with great interest to see what happens. It is so complicated to be able to figure out what the flavor of the day, month, or year will be. And so therefore, what I can say is it will surely will have some impact because we operate in all of the markets that in some ways get impacted by these tariffs. With that said, it is our general view at the moment that the final chapter is too far away to be able to predict. What you can see is if this has an inflationary cost where cost of the items that you're protecting goes up, then the cost of protection for those items will go up. Our job and our goal as an Insurtech is to keep that as seamless and as low frictional cost as possible, meaning we don't want to waste the customer's money on all of the operational costs that it takes to run the insurance business. Just pay for the risk that is being assumed by the insurance company. Don't have a lot of inefficient cost structure that people are paying for. That's why we think Insurtech is the future, because we want to keep it as technology advanced as possible, seamless end to end, and as inexpensive as possible.
Yeah, as you rightly said, it's too early to tell, but if the cost of those products hit by tariffs go up, and as a result, premiums go up as well, are you at all worried at this stage about a potential loss in business?
I think for an Insurtech, the beauty of it is that we will likely be a beneficiary. We will, because we can do things in a more technology-driven way, which probably means that we become a more efficient answer in a environment where people are looking for ways to save cost.
Yeah.
So we use a lot of artificial intelligence. We use a lot of the modern technology that can make it more cost-effective. And so the loss risk might go up, but the efficiency has to go up too.
Okay, so you talked about AI. That's definitely a buzzword on top of tariffs, right? And so AI has been making waves across industries, and of course, Insurtech is no exception. Can you go into how you're using AI at bolttech and how it's transforming the way you guys do business?
The good news for bolttech, we're only a 5-year-old company, so we'll be celebrating our 5-year anniversary, by the way, this month.
Oh, congratulations.
So happy birthday, bolttech.
Congrats.
And as a 5-year-old, we were much more of a digital native, technology-driven business. So AI has actually been a part of the fiber of bolttech since the very beginning. Everyone has the great hype of it over the last year or two, but the truth of the matter is AI has been embedded inside of our operations since the beginning. AI impacts every element of the insurance value chain. Everything from how you sell insurance to how you can understand and assess the risk of the insurance, how you can service the customer behind the scenes, whether it's the call center or whether it's just the fulfillment of the insurance product, or even how you adjudicate the claims. So the beauty of this is every element of that value chain is a place where we're providing some sort of AI capability that makes us more efficient and more effective than many of the traditional players.
Yeah, how does bolttech specifically ensure fairness and transparency when it comes to claims and underwriting?
Yeah, so first of all, as an Insurtech that is focused on insurance distribution, you're still dealing with the underwriter, who is the name that you might more commonly know here in the insurance business. So what we are doing is we are the connection between that underwriter and our distribution partner. So in the world I just described, you could think of it as the underwriter might be Allianz or Generali or AIG or any Chubb. It could be any of the insurers that you're familiar with. And we're connecting them into our distribution partner using our platform. So nothing changes in terms of the governance that's required, and the regulators here in Singapore, for example, do a great job with requiring there to be strong regulation over the basic fairness of the way that the underwriters do their business. And so it is one of the benefits of being here in a very sophisticated market like Singapore, where the MAS is on top of that stuff. They're making sure that the insurance companies are treating the customers fairly. And then our goal is to connect that fair insurance to our end distribution partner.
Okay, so Rob, bolttech is celebrating its 5th birthday soon, and you guys are already operating in over 35 markets across 4 continents, making it the world's most internationally scaled Insurtech. What would you say is the secret to scaling successfully? Because what you've done within the last few years has been incredible.
We work very much backwards from the customer and from our distribution partners. So nothing that we are doing is a prepackaged solution that says we did it in geography A, so let's just pick it up and move it to geography B. But instead, we find a solution that's designed for the country that we're in. So, for example, the solution in Singapore is not the same solution that we're implementing in Hong Kong or in Thailand. And so the real key for us for scaling is to learn the lessons within an individual country and then apply them and expand them within the country, but recognize that we cannot just simply pick up the solution from one place to the other. Put this in context in terms of scale. In the last 12 months, we quoted over $60 billion of insurance on behalf of the partners that we work for, the insurance carriers who are providing the product and the distribution partners who are selling it.
Wow.
Yeah, speaking of scale, just to wrap things up here, do you see yourself serving the likes of SMEs or small businesses in addition to some of the big players like Apple and Samsung that you've mentioned? And also, what advice would you give to people who want to be more protective or proactive rather in protecting their assets, health or future, but don't know where to start?
Yeah. So very first thing is that the name Bolt for bolttech came from the first two letters began with business owners. So first of all, we love the SME space. We think it's a very underserved space. We do a lot of our work for the individual insured, but the truth of the matter is that the business owners many of the same capabilities that are provided to individuals, but they need them packaged together and offered as a single point of solution.
Right.
We love working with affinity groups and providing a solution on behalf of an affinity group who would actually have this area of expertise. So to the extent that you are interested in insurance, think about who you are affiliated with or have an affinity with who actually can provide this sort of access on a holistic basis. So I'll use as an example, if you were in the medical field, you would look to a medical association, and we work with those medical associations as an example. That's the best way to think about it.
What does the LT stand for? Is it large tech by any chance?
No. It actually stands for the liability team. So it is. It began as a technical name, Business Owners Liability Team, which is very insurance-y and super geeky. Think of it instead as we're like a lightning bolt, and we just move fast.
I was actually thinking that before the show, and I thought I would drop that in at some point.
We keep it like that. So we want to be agile and move fast.
Yeah, lightning bolt. Okay, that was a glimpse into the fast-evolving world of Insurtech, and it's clear that bolttech isn't just simplifying insurance. They're completely reimagining how, when, and where we access protection in our lives. Rob, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Rob. Rob Schimek is the founder and group CEO for bolttech. Stay with Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.